This time on Wildcatters TV, Steve Douglas interviews pro angler Larry Muse. Larry's well known in the fishing world, and you've probably heard his name a lot because he, along with partners Don Dalton and John Stevens, just won the Monsters on the Ohio tournament.
Oh my goodness! Ooh. Larry Muse!
On this video, Larry shares with Steve a brand new way to rig. Larry introduces us to a brand new and unique rig that he's made popular. In the interview, Larry shows us how it's set up and how it works. Now, here's your host, Steve Douglas.
Okay guys, we're here on the Monsters on the Ohio, here in Owensboro, Kentucky, and I've got my friend Larry Muse with me. Larry is Bass Pro champ, points champ for 3 years running now, right? Larry's been in business a long time, but he's got a very unique rig that he uses, and in catfishing there's not a lot of rigs are kind of overdone in catfishing. You got Carolina rig, you got Santee Cooper rig, but this rig is designed for dragging, and it's a really unique system, and I'd like to share it with you guys. Larry, can you explain what you got here?
Yeah, what I've got right here is something that I'm using up here on the Ohio River. Now, what I showed one on Catfish Weekly that was 30 inches long, and I actually had the same amount of lead in it as I do this one, about 14 inches of lead. The tubing is half-inch OD, 3/8 IV.
So this is just like
just soft rubber tubing.
Aquarium tubing,
rubber
like.
tubing.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. You buy it in 20-foot, 10-foot, or 20-foot rolls at Lowe's or somewhere like that.
Right.
And I put 14 inch, 12 to 14 inches, and you got around 4 ounces of lead if you put that much bird shot. Best thing to do on your bird shot is get some reclaim shot.
Right.
They reclaim that stuff at these trap and skeet ranges.
Right.
And you can buy it a little cheaper than you can new shots, you know.
But you can use new shot if you
Yeah, if
okay.
you're going to use new shots, you can. They probably ain't $10 a bag difference in it.
Okay.
You can usually get a 20-pound bag or 25-pound bag for around $40.
Okay.
So that'll make a lot of sinkers. You know, that's going to make 100 sinkers, $40 just to lay it.
Right.
That's not bad. All right. What I do, I just trying to find something the right size to plug that thing with, and I found that these orange wire nuts do a pretty good job.
Okay.
Well, and it plays two purposes. One thing, it plugs it, and what I do, I use some Gorilla Glue. That Gorilla Glue works pretty good. It ain't the greatest thing in the world. Some marine silicone works good, and I don't know if there's anything that's just super, but it'll work. And glue that stuff in there, glue that wire nut in there. Well, what it does, you can take an eye screw, I don't know if you can see that or not, that eye screw will screw right down in that wire nut.
Oh, I got you, okay, yeah.
And you screw it in there. And to keep it from accidentally backing out or something, when I do screw them in, well, first I pry the eye of the eye screw open, and I put me a snap swivel on there. Now, I have put 3-way swivels on there and went straight to the 3-way with that and built the rigs. Well, I figured out it was hard to store them like that with this thing always on there permanently. Well, these I fixed with a snap swivel, and I shortened them up some, and these are not as hang-free as the ones that I showed on Catfish Weekly. That's by far not my first. I've been messing with this for a long time. I've had them 5 foot long, and I've had them shorter than that. But anyway, this works really good, and it's easy to store. You got it with you all the time. But when you put that eye screw in there, you just open up the eye screw, put your swivel on it, and then squeeze it back down. And then when you screw it into your wire nut, you get it screwed in there good and tight, and then take you a drop of super glue. Hit it like that, and that'll keep it from vibrating loose or trying to spin loose on it. And so it's always there. All right. Then I tie up my rig part, and I put it in one of these rig wraps. Now, rig wraps is really starting to target the catfish world. I'm starting to see them all around now. And this was some of the first things that they introduced to the catfish world.
They're very handy.
And I grab a handful every time I get a chance. When they're giving them away, buddy, I get me some of them because I use them. And they'll keep you rigged. This thing right here, you can go ahead and tie that on you. You can go ahead and tie this on your pole. and just have that hanging up there like that right there.
Now, is that a three-way or is that something you
It's
made?
a three-way. No, what that is, you can get this from Bass Pro. You get it, it's in the offshore angler book, and what it looks like is 2 barrel swivels. It looks like 1 barrel swivel with the eye of it shoved through the eye of another barrel swivel.
Exactly.
But that's not what it is. They're actually made that way. It's a 3-way swivel made that way, and it does a pretty good job. I like it.
Right.
It does a good job. But it's in the offshore angler book of Bass Pro, and I think that this is a 1/0, the size of it.
Right.
All right. That way I can store these. I've got this snap swivel, and then I'll take it and snap it on there after I get it. Usually I, get it tied on the pole first, but I'll snap this on right here on this swivel. And close that. And when you get ready to open it, I usually go ahead and just tie my pole to it.
Right.
While it ain't strung out all in the way. Okay. Now when I get ready to use it, of course I open this up. And what I've done, when I wrapped this up in here, I wrapped it all up in this rig wrap. Well, when I wrapped it up, that's one of my clear balloons right there. I've been working with those just a little bit.
Right. Yeah, this is Larry's been using this a long time, but he's perfecting it as he goes along. So you said you used to have a cork on it, but you went to the balloons here recently.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. This is the first time I've showed anybody really these balloons, and as far as and you said this wasn't gonna come out for a couple of days, didn't you?
Right. Yeah,
we done this tournament?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't let the cat out of the bag just yet.
Okay. All right. Let's get past the Monsters on the Ohio tournament, and then we'll let it out.
There you go.
And let them work with that a while, and then I'll have something new next year.
Yeah.
All right. All right. But what we got? I just unwound that thing off this rig wrap. Well, it's all in good shape, and the line's all real nice. Been protected from the sun and everything. If you'll hold that for me.
Yes, sir.
I still got my balloons in there. And I've got 2 balloons in there, because if something happens, fish hits one and tears it up, then I got another balloon right ready. I can stick it on it.
Right.
But that's what you basically got right there. This thing's about 4 to 5 feet long, something like that. And I've got that bead swivel in the middle of it.
Okay.
See that right there? See that bead swivel in the middle?
It's
that
gonna
helps
help the twist.
Yeah, it helps on the twist a lot. And
now, what pound test are you using
this
from
is
the
60
swivel?
pound test.
60,
I
okay.
use 60. That's as light as I'll use. I mean, that's 60 pound test. And the reason I like 60 over 50, it's just a little bit stiffer, and it just don't hardly tangle as bad.
Right.
And it's easier to get loose if it does tangle. And that's why I like 60 plus. I feel a lot better when that old big fish gets on there. If I got a 60 pound line rather than a 40,
Exactly.
But anyway.
Now this rig is
what I
designed to drag across the bottom on flats. Now Larry's experimenting with dragging in trees and things, and this is where he's come up with this idea.
Yeah. And a lot of dragging is knowing when to drag. And if I can suspend fish, and if I've got any current at all, I'll suspend fish. I'll bump bottom. Sometimes I'll suspend fish and bump bottom. If the current's just right, I'll put a little heavier egg sinker on my suspending poles and suspend some, and take a lighter sinker and bump bottom back behind the boat as I drift down the river.
Right.
And if I've got current, I'm going to do stuff like that. But when there's absolutely no current, and I've got to try to present a bait to as many fish in that river as I can, because only 1 out of 100 of them probably going to bite because there's no current. Then I start dragging stuff around saying, here you are, here you are, here you are.
Yeah.
You want this. And so that's the reason for this rig. And last year, we got inside 3rd place 6 times in tournaments. And 3 out of them 6, I didn't have a fish in the boat at 11 o'clock.
Really?
Didn't have a fish in the boat at 11 o'clock. Tied 2 of these on and started dragging.
It's on.
And come in the top 3 in all 3 of them.
Well, that's awesome.
So that's, they work.
Well, the thing is, you got to try different things throughout the day. You just can't stick with one rig. You can't stick with one technique.
That's right.
If it's not working, you need to find something that
That's
works.
right. All right, hold this right here just like that. Let me see one of them balloons, and I'll show you something about this balloon.
Okay.
All right. We'll take that balloon right there.
And by the way, I've been thinking about this for a long time, ever since you come out Catfish Weekly.
Yeah.
On a name for this. You haven't come up with a name with it, but on my way over here, I come up with a name for it.
All right. Well, what is it?
Dragon tail.
A dragon tail.
Dragon's tail. But now I was thinking the longer ones you have, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
This might
yeah.
be a cattail now. The dragon tail.
Yeah.
Is kind of cool, but you know, Larry come up with this rig, and I'd like to give credit to Larry for being so. What's the word? Help me out here.
There's no word,
open.
man.
Yeah. So open with how he does his rigs and shares his. You know, he didn't have to share this at all, and this is a weapon that he's been using. Like I say, he's won Bass Pro's Angler of the Year 3 times in a row, and it ain't because he's.
And in that time, in those 3 years, I have not thrown an anchor.
Yeah. So this is awesome, man. I'm really excited to see you do this.
All right. See how that balloon is?
Uh-huh.
All right, that's too big. You go to dragging that, and it'll be on top of the water back there. It'll pick that 4 ounces up and float it on top of the water.
Okay.
All right. You want this rig down just about like a golf ball.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what you want. That's plenty of buoyancy to hold your bait up. Because your bait's almost floating anyway. It ain't far from floating.
Right.
I've messed with this stuff. I've had this stuff in my bathtub, man. I'm telling you.
Now that's dedication, guys. When you're in a bathtub.
Yeah. All right. See how much weight it takes to float. All right. Take this right here. I like it about 4 inches from my hook. All right. Just wrap this around 1, 2, 3 times, like that right there, and then tie it. I already tied it to hold the air in.
Right.
And then just take the rest of it, wrap it around 3 times and tie it. Now look at that, feel that. See how much it takes to slide that up and down that string.
It takes quite a bit. Eh?
Stay right where you put it.
Yep.
Yeah, stay right where you put it. All right, now what this does, I said I wasn't gonna let this go, but I can't stand it. I got to tell people something.
Okay.
I just can't help myself. But what this right here does, I have really got more hookups with this than I have with that foam, that styrofoam floater. And I don't know if some of them felt the floater, or if I've just started dragging a little better and getting more confidence in it or what. But it seems like this is working better, and I think that feels like a fishy swim bladder or something like that. When they hit that right there, it don't bother them a bit.
Right.
I think it feels completely natural to
And
them.
I think you're
They're
onto
tasting
something.
that skipjack,
Yeah.
and they hit that right there, and that's not no big deal. They
That's
feel
not
that all
hard.
the time when they eat a bait fish, and that swim bladder pops out of it.
Exactly.
You know?
That's smart.
And so they, that's nothing unnatural for them to feed. And I believe it. I believe that's what that does. But
So how far? You say 4 inches from your hook?
I like it about 4 inches from the hook. I mean, you can run it. I started out playing with it, running it back and forth and different stuff. It don't seem to bother the fish at all. And so I think if I was running a foam cork, I'd run it about 6 or 8 inches, hope they didn't hit it and feel it and feel something not right. But with that balloon, I don't care to put it all the way down there on it.
I think you're right about that. It feels spongy. It feels like it may be part of a bait fish.
Yeah. Because I mean, you pull a bladder out of a catfish and they eat other catfish and chug heads and they'll eat meat. A blue will eat a blue. I've got blues out of blues before. And that's just like a swim bladder on a catfish.
Now you're going to just drag this across the bottom.
Yeah.
Now your other rig had air in it or something down here, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And like I said, this one right here is a whole lot more storage friendly, and it drags real well. Now you start getting in a lot of timber and stuff like that, you need the other rig.
And then you're going to go to the larger.
You need the rig that's 30 inches long, and half of it's filled with air. Half of it's trapped air in there, and you're going to fill it with air, but you trapped air in there. And what happens is that 30-inch rig, it actually stands up about this high, so any log or anything that's any lower than that, you already got a head start of getting over it.
It kind of stands up like a cobra, maybe.
Yeah, and if it does hang, if you just give it a little bit of slack, it'll pop right up over it, you know. And if you jerk it, it don't go down the river and hit into something. It goes straight up for a little bit, So you kind of give it a little whip,
it's going to
little
hop
pop.
right over top of it.
Man, I've drug it through stuff, but it blew my mind when I first started building them. I said, man, Mr. John Stevens, I give him 2. He drug 2 of them for 2 years. Of course, now he'd go back and get it unhung if it did hang up. But he drug 2 of them for 2 years without losing one. And that's in some bad stuff up there at Clarksville in the Cumberland. You know how it is.
Oh, exactly. Well, that is awesome, Larry. I appreciate you showing us that. And like I say, we we always like to show new things to our viewers. Just, you know, I show you the way I do it, but I like to also show other people. There's other techniques out there. The things I do might not necessarily be right, but it's the way I like to do it. But I like to share everybody else's ways too. Because like I say, there's a lot of good fishermen out there, and they've got some good ideas. But like I say, this one here, a new rig for catfishing, don't come around. It's hard to find a new rig for catfishing. But lo and behold, Larry has come up with it, and I think it's awesome. I can't wait to actually use one, especially the 30-inch one like you're talking about.
Yeah.
It may be harder to store, but I can see a real need for that.
Yeah.
And I'll put some illustrations on it for you guys that want to try to make these things.
Which now this right here, you'll be amazed what this drags through also.
Right.
It'll really drag through some good stuff too. But now the others are a little more hang free. But
Now where are you going to put your main line at? On
this
on
tight
this
right
three-way?
here, on this three-way right there.
So it's going to be on this.
No, it's really not on that. It's on the other part.
It's on the other part. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least when this.
Yeah. Once you got that right there,
It's not coming loose.
It ain't coming off.
Okay.
No. You'd have to pull that swivel completely through that other swivel.
Right.
I've never had one come loose, and I pulled up stumps big as you are.
Well, I promise you, it's going to be the Larry Muse rig, but I do like the dragon tail. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah. That sounds like a pretty decent analogy of it.
Yeah.
I don't know really what to call the thing. Mr. John calls it the snake rig.
Snake rig.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it
I
works.
called a nanny today, and I say, "What'd you get him?" I got him on the snake rig.
Oh, really?
And he's caught his personal best on that. My little brother's caught his personal best on that. And if my personal best wasn't already 101.5, I probably done got my personal best on
Right.
it too. But it's hard to beat that. But if I run into one, I don't think you'll have no problem taking it.
Right. Now you're using looks like Daiichi hooks.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm on Daiichi's Pro Staff.
Yeah.
And man, I used them things when I had to buy them. When they didn't furnish them.
Right.
And I had to buy them, I would pre-fish with something else. But when tournament day come,
That's when you have them on.
Daiichi's was on there.
Now do you
I
offset
use them
them
all
or
the time.
anything? Or you just leave them like that?
No, on these dragon rigs, you'll see I use a straight hook, hangs up less.
Right.
And that fish, that bait's coming out through there, they hit these things with a vengeance. You don't need to offset your hook. They hit it, they shut their mouth, they're trying to stop it, and they turn with it, and they'll stop that 24-foot boat.
Oh.
I mean, stop it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you don't have to offset them. If you really, I advise not to offset them when I'm dragging because they hang up easy.
Well, good deal, Larry. I appreciate you sharing your rig with us.
What that balloon does, it holds your bait up. of
Right.
course. Well, when this comes over something, it just sort of follows it like that. It's simple the way it works,
Right.
but man, it's just it's amazing.
Now, guys, he's got another swivel. It's a chain swivel, but he's
Yeah.
got it about halfway through his leader. And what happens when you're in the current? A lot of times that the bait's twisting or you're pulling it down. The bait's twisting, and this is going to help you not twist your lines as much, which is a really good idea. We use this a little bit on another rig.
If you'll notice, there's different ones of these things. Some of them's got 4 balls, some of them got 3. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls there. And I like these better. I mean, the more places for it to spin, the better off you are, of course, because when it gets in kind of a bind, you're still going to turn.
And it depends too on your piece of bait that you've got too. If you put a head on there, it's probably going to just kind of slide through. But if you've got a fillet, it's catching some water. It may be spinning a little bit. So
Yeah. Now this right here, if Bass Pro sold it, I would say get these at Bass Pro. Bass Pro's my sponsor, and I appreciate all they do and stuff. But I'm telling you, I appreciate everybody that's doing anything for tournament catfish. And David Ashby, the Bottom Dwellers Tackle, has got these cheaper than you can buy them anywhere.
Right.
Just holler at David, tell him I sent you, and he'll know what you're talking about.
Well, good deal. Good deal. Well, I'm excited. I guess you're going to use these during the tournament?
Very likely.
Very likely.
If there's no current.
Well, we've had a little current the last few days. I mean, we had 0.5 down yesterday, but that's still I like
If there's any current, these probably won't never come out.
Really?
But if there's absolutely no current, these will definitely come out.
Well, good deal. Well, Larry, I appreciate you sharing this with us, and we look forward to seeing what you can produce with these bad boys.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching our videos, and we'll see you in the next one. And give Larry's rig a try sometime. There you go.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, go honest that you have that.
Well, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. We'll get
Keep
some.
that rig wrap. It's got another balloon in there in
Where's
case
it
you
at?
bust one.
It's in your pocket, Larry.
It's in my pocket? Okay.
Well, I appreciate that, Larry. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you having that enough interest in me to do that.
Well, we're gonna get it. I got another interest in it, but I ain't gonna ask you about that. I like that last deal you told me to share with me.
What's
Hey,
that?
get that open.
Which one's that? I've opened a whole bunch of them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You'll probably have to bust that balloon to put it back in there.
Yeah.
You'll have another.
We'll get another one.
That's about a 5-inch balloon at Walmart in the party pack, the white one.
Right.
And like I say, don't get it much bigger than a golf ball, or you'll look back there and you think you got turtles fathered.
Yeah.
I need to tell you to start with who showed me this. And Logger Freeman showed me this, and he went out fishing with me one day. He said, "I'd like to go." I said, "Well, come on." We got out there fishing, and he said, "Boy, let me show you something." I said, "All right." He said, "Cut that off." I cut it off. Well, he took it and tied it like this right here. He said, "All right, see how this line is coming?" Tie it this way to start with. See how this line is coming out of the back of that hook after it's been snailed? See how it's coming out of the back of that hook?
Yep.
Not the point side?
Right.
Well, look at here. Drag that across your arm. Gotta make it hook something. You see that right there?
Right.
That thing, it will not hook no kind of way. Well, all right, you can use that. If you're trying to drag something like that dragon rig through some brush, and you know what, fish won't clamp down on it anyway,
Right.
well, tie it like that.
Yep.
That's good. But if you're out there suspend fishing, no fish comes up there and ain't biting good and everything else, man, don't tie it like that. Not only will it not hook your arm, it won't hook that fish neither,
Right.
unless he's aggressive. All right? So I'll take that thing and tie it like this. Down there, and all I'm doing is running that through there and just wrapping it around there 7 times. The reason I do 7 is because God likes 7.
There you go.
7's a complete number. The Bible says 7's a complete number, and I want a complete knot, so I'm gonna wrap it 7 times.
Awesome.
All right, and then I come through the back of the hook and make it run out the front, if I can see.
There
Yep.
you go.
All right, that line is exiting out the front of that hook. All right, that's the way you want to tie.
Right.
Unless you're just trying to avoid brush or something, that's the way you want to tie it. You start over something with that, look at that.
Yep.
Every time you pull it, it's going in something.
Exactly.
Don't stick in my arm. But it'll flat get you now.
Yep. Let me see a second.
Oh!
All right, guys, what he's talking about is snelling the hooks. When you're, like, say, like what I do is suspend drifting, you want to snell that hook so that it does hook like that. If you see that, it's going to hook because it is laying, the way it's laying like it's going to hook. But when he reversed it, instead of having this come through the back of the hook, he put it through the front, right? We just reversed that. We put it through the front. I'm like, you can't see it. And we had to move up here in the light, guys. I do apologize. But see, now you don't have that hook on it. It's not
It's coming out the back.
coming out
instead
the
of
back side. So now, you know, like he says, if you're dragging across the sandy bottom, rocky bottom, this hook is less likely to snag on anything because of the way it, and that's a smart idea. And that's how you learn things. You listen to old guys that have been fishing for years and have had the trials and know what works and what don't work. And I love listening to older guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I ended up, he showed me some things that he learned, over the years and stuff. Man, I always like to listen to old folks, especially folks like him, man. He could snare a coyote out here in this parking lot tonight, I guarantee you. And I ended up getting to share the gospel with him. I baptized him, and
good guy, all around good guy.
And about 2 months later, he died. But anyway, he's in a good place.
Right.
He's waiting on me to get there.
Well, take your time, Larry. Take your time.
I'm gonna try to hang around here all again. But anyway, I thought I'd share that. These things, man, there's so many little things in catfishing that help you. Just little bitty stuff. I mean, the man that's going to do the best is the one that pays the most attention to small detail and just keeps compiling. Man, you just keep compiling,
Right.
You tie your hooks right. You can do everything right and not tie your hook right, and then doggone. I don't know how come he didn't. I don't know why it come off. It just come off. Well, it's because you just had a little piece of skin hooks on your head.
Exactly.
You didn't good indeed.
So that is awesome, man. And like I say, I appreciate you showing the little tricks, but of your trade and what you've learned, and like I say, pass down. If we keep all this stuff to ourselves, it wouldn't be no fun.
No, that's right. Like I said, I don't want to fish. We're fixing to fish monsters on Ohio. Not tomorrow, but the next day, Saturday. I don't want to fish against nobody that don't know how to tie the hook on.
Right. Exactly.
Just like fishing against a man. A lot of people won't tell you where to go catch some skipjack. I don't want to fish against a man that ain't got no bait.
Right. Yeah. He's not having fun. Yeah.
No.
You want a good level playing field.
That's right. And that way, instead of having 50 boats at a tournament, you got 150 boats at a tournament.
Right.
These people feel like they got a chance, and that's good.
Exactly.
That's good. And we don't ever know, man. I'm telling you, I'm liable to come in here and I'm liable to goose egg Saturday. You can't ever tell.
Well, I've seen it happen myself personally, so you never know.
Yeah, we act like we know something, and we kind of set ourselves up for a little disappointment every now and then.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And every now and then the Lord has a way of sort of humbling you.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. You stay toe-to-toe and right with him.
Yeah. That's good words to live by, Larry. Well, Larry, I appreciate it again, and I look forward to actually getting in a boat with you sometime and bumping the Mississippi or wherever we got to do it at, and get you some more tips for these younger guys getting in this thing.
Yeah.
But like I say, we got to listen to the older guys that's learned and I don't want to say you've been there. You've done that.
If I could go back, I started doing this about 10 years ago. Hard and heavy.
Right.
I mean, I don't reckon anything I get into, I feel like I can't just stop and do it casually, enjoy it. I got to go at it 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Treat it like a job,
Yeah.
And it kind of ends up that way a lot of times. But I started doing it about 10 years ago. If I could go back 10 years and know what I know now, woo!
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about it. It would be unreal, but there's a lot of guys know some stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean, now they do.
Well, I started about the same time you did, I guess, and Gary Waddell was my guy that actually put me on my first 25-pound fish. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
When I caught that, it was over. I was done. But his buddy, Joey Hall, down in Clarksville, Tennessee, Joey taught me a lot. And I want to give credit where credit's due. I can't go in there and say, oh, this is my idea, when this other guy showed me. Joey's a guy down on the Cumberland River. He's been there like 15 years, I guess. He's with Jim Moyer, I think. He started out with Jim Moyer.
Yeah.
So it's good to listen to the older guys, fellas, gals, and guys and gals.
Yeah. One old boy that taught me a lot, the same one that taught Phil King a lot, is Bruce Paul.
Bruce is a good fisherman.
Bruce is tough. Now, Bruce kind of tight-lipped. He don't tell you too much, but now I fished with him, and I was figuring out some things, and I'd say, hey, Bruce, I just caught this. Guess how I done it? He'd say, wow, man. And Bruce gave me a lot of tips along the way. So one thing was, I was out there fishing with 2 on hooks. Didn't know no better.
Right.
He said, man, you go out to get. I said, man, I'm hooking some monsters, but they're pulling off. He said, man, you go out and get you some bigger hooks. And he was exactly right, And,
well, Bruce, you can't
have
help it like Bruce. He's comical, always got a good attitude.
Yeah, and Bruce will talk a good bit, and if you listen to him, you learn something, because he ain't just rattling now. He's putting out some good information.
Well, that's what I say. Like if the guys that like when they come visit Monsters on or any kind of tournament, if like you're in the hotels and when you're talking to people, you need to absorb what people are saying.
Yeah, yeah. Now some of it you have to kind of filter a little bit.
Yeah. But you never want. I mean, you can learn something from anybody.
Yeah. You'll learn. You sure will.
Well, good deal, Larry. Again, thank you for doing an interview with us, and we look forward to fishing with you soon.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Let's make this sport grow.
Yep.
Let it rip, Jack.
All right, guys. We'll see you. All right, Lisa.